Hi everyone, my name is Fernanda Lozano. I'm a second year PhD student in the Population Health program within the College of Health Solutions. And today I'll be going through what is public health practice, services, and challenges. So public health impacts all of us through things like vaccines, food safety, and prevention programs. And today we're going to walk through what public health practice is, what it does, and what challenges it faces. To guide the presentation, first I'll go through and define public health practice. Then I'll walk through the essential services and core functions. Next, I'll discuss strengths and weaknesses of the system. And finally, I'll cover opportunities, challenges, and emerging threats. As you listen, think about how these concepts show up in real systems and in your world, like hospitals, community programs, or policy decisions. So what is public health practice? So the CDC defines it as the guidelines and methods used to conduct public health programs, especially when it comes to local and state health departments. But more practically, this is what public health professionals actually do on a day-to-day basis. So an example, running vaccination campaigns in communities would be a great example. Another example would be monitoring disease outbreaks or even creating health education programs, inspecting restaurants for safety. All of these are different examples of what public health professionals do on a day-to-day basis. And this is just a short list of the huge wide range of items that they do within their careers. A key distinction is that public health focuses on populations, not individual patients. So instead of treating one person with diabetes, public health asks instead, why is diabetes so common in this community, and how can we prevent it at a population level? So all public health work falls into three core functions: assessment, policy development, and assurance. Assessment is all about data. So an example would be tracking rising rates of obesity or identifying a COVID-19 outbreak in a specific zip code. Policy development turns that data into action. For example, implementing soda taxes, smoke-free laws, or vaccination requirements for school entry. Assurance ensures those policies and services actually reach people. This could include running immunization clinics or ensuring hospitals follow safety standards. A simple way to think about this is assessment is what's happening, policy is what should we do, and assurance is are we actually doing it? So in 2020, the essential public health services were updated with a major shift towards health equity. This means recognizing that health outcomes are not evenly distributed and actively working to address that. So, for example, COVID-19 disproportionately impacted Hispanic and Black communities. Access to healthcare varies based on income, insurance status, and geography also plays a factor. So now public health explicitly focuses on addressing structural inequities such as language barriers, lack of transportation, historical mistrust in healthcare systems, another example. This shift is important because it moves public health from just improving averages to working towards reducing these disparities that are being seen. So the 10 original essential services from 1994 laid the foundation for modern public health. They included things like monitoring health trends, educating the public, enforcing laws, linking people to care. An example of this would be public awareness campaigns about HIV prevention, food safety regulations, programs connecting uninsured individuals to clinics. So these services were in place to look at how can we look through assessment, policy development, assurance, and looking at cross-cutting research and combining all these things to promote health. The 2020 update didn't replace these, but rather it reframed them with a stronger emphasis on equity and community engagement. So public health has evolved in response to major societal changes. So from 1920 to 1980, the focus was mainly on sanitation, things like clean water, sewage systems, controlling infection diseases like tuberculosis. Then in 1988, the Institute of Medicine identified that the public health system was fragmented and underfunded, which led to the development of the 10 essential services that we briefly just covered. More recently, events like COVID-19 and growing health disparities push the field to prioritize equity and system level change. So, public health is constantly evolving based on emerging threats, societal needs, what public health needs arise during any given time. Public health is constantly moving, constantly evolving, and there's always brand new knowledge and services and different things that we as public health professionals strive towards promoting public health outcomes. One of the biggest strengths of public health is its preventative focus. So, an example would be vaccination programs can prevent diseases before they happen because it's more looking at how can we prevent this harm, a potential harm, before it even takes place. Screening programs, they can catch diseases early so that we can intervene, perhaps connect individuals to care so that they're able to address their whatever their concern is in an early time basis. So screening programs can help catch those diseases early so that interventions can be done. It also has strong surveillance systems like tracking flu trends or opioid overdoses. And importantly, public health has the authority to enforce regulations like food safety laws or quarantine measures. However, there are some weaknesses, major weaknesses. Public health is often underfunded, especially compared to the healthcare system. There are also workforce shortages, and many professionals are nearing retirement. Another major issue is the disconnect between healthcare and public health. For example, hospitals focus on treating patients, while public health focuses on prevention. But these systems don't always communicate well, which combined can lead to gaps in care. There are also exciting opportunities to strengthen when it comes to public health settings. For example, big data and analytics allow us to predict trends and target interventions more effectively. Digital tools like mobile health applications or telehealth can continue to expand access to care. Perhaps you've seen in your provider setting or you've seen in other clinical settings mobile health applications on cell phones, on iPads, within EHR settings. Digital tools continues to expand and it can be exciting to see how quickly it can help promote access to care. Social media can be used to spread health information quickly, although it comes with challenges like misinformation. And newer technologies, including AI, can help identify patterns, personalize interventions, and improve decision making. So, all these are different examples of how these innovations have the potential to make public health more proactive rather than reactive. Public health is also facing multiple complex challenges as a field. So, chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease remain leading causes of death, and they're often linked to social factors like diet, environment, and access to care. The opioid epidemic continues to impact communities across the United States. Mental health is another growing concern, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic. Globally, we're also dealing with challenges like climate change, which can affect air quality and disease patterns, which may have its own unintended consequences. Emerging infectious diseases, which can lead to various different patient level outcomes to widespread outcomes at a population level that can be difficult to grasp. Antimicrobial resistance, which makes infections harder to treat, is another pressing issue that faces population health and public health as a field. These aren't isolated issues. When you look at them, take a step back, they're interconnected and they require coordinated responses across systems. And that's where public health professionals come in to work in a multidisciplinary collaborative approach towards this wide range of problems. So overall, public health practice plays a critical role in protecting population health. It's guided by core functions and essential services, but it is also constantly evolving to address new challenges, new things that come up. While there are significant barriers such as funding, workforce issues, there are also major opportunities through technology and innovation. Ultimately, strengthening public health systems is essential for improving health outcomes and reducing disparities at a public health and population health level. Thank you for your time. Here's my contact information. If anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Please send me an email and I'd be happy to help. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye bye.